Welcome to another episode of the Oxygen Not Included series, and don't panic if you think this looks very different than before, because it does, but it's not our actual save. This is a sandbox version. I realized that we were going to have a problem, this problem here, which is we have no dirt, and so I was experimenting with some things and trying to learn some of the mechanics that I'm not familiar with, and instead of trying to build up a whole new base to test it in, I figured I'd just make a copy of what we have and see what we can do from there. So, some of the things I tried testing was dripping water on the chlorine so that it would help disinfect it, because I want to find a way to get the germs out of the clean water, because we can purify it here. That's not a problem, but it continues to have a lot of food poisoning, and in almost all systems that's not a problem, but I do need to start putting water into our plants and into our food, so I do need a clean source of water, and that seems to be getting lower and lower as we're going. So I want to take what excess water is piling up in this system once we put in the actual toilets. I keep getting these like almost hiccup burps. I apologize. They will produce more water than goes into it. And so even if we get this system completely working, as soon as these are in, we'll have extra. So I need somewhere to put the excess, and I want to be able to clean it. So I thought, well, running it over chunks of bleach should do it, right? No. Sitting it in chlorine doesn't do anything. And the mechanics for it is just very strange to me, because as it would run off of the stones, it would have, you know, 100 or something germs, and then it would get down to here and be like 800,000. And I understand part of it might be that this has significantly more liquid in this little spot than this one, so per proportion there's going to be more germs in the more water. But it just seems like it's getting more germy as it's going or something. I'm not sure. It's very confusing. So yeah, I think the only way that I can figure out how to remove the germs from the clean water is going to be boiling it, and that's getting it up to like 170 degrees Fahrenheit, which is quite warm. I don't have any sources of heat that's higher than that right now, or at that temperature. Everything's around 100 at most. And that's just because if you go here, go to the germs, click food poisoning, you see that at 167, that's its comfortable range. Yeah, it says disinfected by solid bleach, stone, chlorine, and pickled, but it just doesn't seem to be working, or it certainly isn't in a rate that makes any kind of sense. Just because it might still, like, be going down, but as soon as any amount of water is added, it just skyrockets again, and so you can't really make any progress. So it looks like the only way we're going to be able to deal with that, again, is going to be finding a way to get it very hot. Which leads to the next thing I've experimented with, which was this guy, which keeps this air so cool that chlorine keeps... It's in the air, but it'll continue to liquefy here until it warms up enough and it'll turn back to a gas. So this system works. It's hideous, but it's working, and it's doing it at the cost of hydrogen. This isn't really powering itself anymore because all of the hydrogen is going up into this. I don't know if I could split it maybe between the two sources and do some of it into the power and some of it up, but I was just testing, so I went full on with it. And so what we're doing is we're pulling water out here, which is at like 70 degrees. And then it goes through this whole system. It cools down just by going through the biome, but I won't be leaving it to go through the biome. I'll be using like insulated tile and stuff and making it look much nicer than this. But it comes up and then you weave it back and forth so that it is losing... I care if he's suffocating, but I don't really because of the safe. But so you weave it back and forth so more of the heat is lost. And so by the time it's leaving this, it's down to 60 degrees. And then we have insulated pipes. So then it's coming down here and dropping off the cooler water, which is why right here it's down to like 60 something. And the reason I'm concerned about that is because the only thing I know how to grow besides this takes water at a very specific temperature, and that's the bristle blossoms. So that will be what we're going to be doing in this episode. It's kind of heading towards this. I was just kind of showing off some of this stuff I had experimented with and just seeing how I was going to do it. Yeah, I think the best thing what I'm gonna do once we get into the real save is build out a little tank right here or somewhere so we can start taking some of that extra water out, and get these switched, and then start converting our meal wood. So I'm gonna start converting the meal wood, which I'm not looking forward to because that means there's a pretty big window where we don't have any food that's growing, so that'll be a bit unfortunate, but it's kind of got to happen because we need that dirt to research. So I'm gonna load into our game and see what we should start on. There we go. This looks more familiar. What's nice about the sandbox tool is you can just draw pipes and stuff through standard stone and stuff. If I keep sounding strange, it's because stuff's happening behind me and there's sounds. I don't know what they are, so I'm trying to investigate. Alright, so first thing we're gonna do is put some liquid pipes in here. It'll cause a bit of a mess for a minute, but it'll do. Oh, it just drives me nuts that it's O. So by putting the bridge here, and I'll end up removing this pipe behind it once it's done, water will come out of the filter here. It'll come out, and it'll always choose to go up this way as long as it's not full. But as soon as this pipe gets completely full of water like it is, it will then choose to go down. And that will be going into this system. And then I'll have a similar pipe down here where it'll do like so. And it'll come down and it'll choose to go through this pipe as long as it's not full, but as soon as it is, it'll choose to go, and I'll have a pipe here and lead it to wherever it is we decide to put our wastewater for now. So we'll let them build that up. The other thing I'm going to do is remove this door and turn it to one of the screen doors, because as you can see, a certain creature likes to escape all the freaking time. So hopefully having this quicker door will fix that problem. Alright, so let's... hopefully we have what we need to start. We'll probably do hydroponic, I suppose. Yeah. So there's two options. There's farm tile and hydroponic, and here you can see we have 0 dirt. Alright, these pipes need to get done soon, please. So we can get that other bathroom in. Oh, another thing I played around with that's just interesting to note is... what is happening? There's so many weird noises. Alright. So, the more consecutive downtime that they have, the more morale they have. So, for the 2 morale, or for the 2, I think they get 1 morale. Let's see. Come here, Bowser. Let me see. So yeah, 2 shift break plus 1. And I think you can go all the way up to 5 in a row, and that will give you the 4 bonus. So if you need, you can expand or give them more morale through that method. Alright, so now we need to get this pipe right back there and deconstruct it. Let's do it quickly while it has no water in it. Thanks! Alright, and then... oh, that one does have water in it. That's unfortunate. Alright, so we got our hydroponic farm going. So we're gonna plant a bristle blossom. And their temperature is 41 to 86. Okay. Alright, and then the next task will be getting water to them. There we go. I don't know how many seeds we have. Let's go ahead and check in here. Get all the seeds in here. It's interesting it's in weight opposed to just how many seeds. We have 80 seeds. Too bad we can't like eat them or something. We have 4 briar seeds at the moment. Okay. Like she's standing on the garden to breathe. I think it counts as a floor now that I think about it. Probably should have replaced it with this. Oh well, I don't think it needs more than the 3. At least we're getting extra water through melting ice, it would seem. Don't know where the melting ice is coming from, but there you have it. We need to then build up something over here to be able to dump out that water. So we're jumping off a bunch of ice here too. Ah, you are carrying a lot there. And that's another way I'm gonna attempt to cool stuff off, is have this dump out all its stuff briefly. Is polluted ice a different? Okay. Could you cancel that? Okay. Because I need that polluted ice not in our water source, preferably. Where do I want it? The good thing about that particular bit of polluted, I'll just stick it in. I don't think it'll thaw fast enough to be a problem quite yet. But the good thing about this is I don't think it's germy. It's just polluted. Another thing I tested on our previous, or in the sandbox mode. I can think of a sandstone. The sandbox mode was, there is a filter for testing for a specific gas. And so I thought maybe if I put it here, and it's like, if you don't have, if it's not oxygen, then function. But the problem with that was it seemed to be running a whole lot more, and eventually this whole thing ended up being oxygen opposed to the scheduled bit, which I think we could probably turn down to a smaller portion of the day. Just do 5 minutes, or 5 ticks. Just because we do have a nice layer here, and pretty soon it'll all be up in this area. Oh, I forgot the other part of the thing with bristled blossoms is they take a bit more, they take power. They take lights. So let's get a ceiling light on. Like, there. Get that built up. Because things that use power is what I need. And then I think we're still working on the water, and it's still too warm, but hopefully the cool water will help with that. Because the water is cooler than the air at the moment. Alright, since this toilet is out of order because it needs emptying, I'm just going to deconstruct it and put in the lavatory. Let's get the priority on those as high as possible. That means I need to decide on a place to put our germy water. So I think I'll do that like here for now. Hopefully it's not a lot. I know our hatches escaped. I'm hoping that was while we did not have the store. Because I'm a rage if they can get past this all the time. Seems like there's little bubbles of hydrogen in here, and I'm not. It's probably from all of this, but that's okay. There's a lot of hydrogen up here. Too bad it wouldn't be easy to gather and use. Yay! We have a new bathroom! So this one shouldn't ever have the problem with like needing cleaned and getting closed. So that's a benefit. We'll also have the benefit of this becoming not a washroom, but a latrine instead, or maybe the other way around. So currently it would be considered a latrine, but it'll become a washroom once it has no outhouse in it and it has the flush toilet. So that'll give us another bit of morale. I just don't want to have to deal with the water. So right now we have pretty much every position filled except for one that I want to be filled right now, and that's the gopher. I wouldn't mind either another builder or maybe another tidier. But at least we have one in pretty much everything right now. We have one unemployed. We have one available right here. I don't really want him, though he does tidy. Ugh. But Ari has the decor benefit of 20, so from what I'd understand is that this duplicate receives morale boosts from lower decor values, so she doesn't care that it's kind of hideous in our base. So that would help with some of the morale problems. She doesn't have an interest in anything like Ashkin does for tidying. It just feels like it would be nice to have another person working around, but then the food and the dirt missing and all of that kind of piles up, you know? And the more duplicates we have, the more extra water we're going to be producing in the bathroom side of the base. It's such a hard decision making those balances, you know? Right now we have 35 kilocalories? 36,000. But some of that might be like the pepper nut that we can't really use on its own, so I don't know how much they can actually eat right now, so I don't know. It's such a hard decision. Let's just do it. Hi, Ari. We need a name though. So we have Stitch. So I guess we'll go with Razzie. Also, rest in peace. Go get him, Razzie! I wonder if I should put her on the supply, the gopher for it now. Hopper would be the better one though, because he already has a higher tier in athletics. So we'll go ahead and put Hopper in that, and Razzie will be our unemployed for the time being. We do have some dirt. I don't remember digging that up, so we have a little bit going for us. I'd really like these pipes getting done, and these ones. There's a lot I'd like done. Get on it! Why? Yay! So we finally got our farm attached, which is good. I don't think I want to put the water that we're finding over here into this quite yet, not until I have the system for cooling it off, because that water is like 100 degrees, whereas this one's 60 or 70-ish in that area. So if I could leave it that way, I would rather do so. We're almost done with this. We've got these two, and we're digging this out, and that's where we'll be dropping any and all extra liquid. Yay! So our blossom is growing for the time being. It's in the right temperature, so that's very nice. So we only have the 4 seeds, so we'll be converting just 4. I'm thinking as soon as these ones get finished and are harvested, I will then replace them, if I can pay attention enough for that. Here's the hoping. We have all this being dug out for right now. That's going to be where our extra water goes. How is that system doing right now? Okay, we're not doing too badly yet. We do have some wiggle room within the polluted side of it, so that's good. We got a baby. Well, let's wrangle it. So it looks like if they hatch inside this room, they hatch tamed. So you can see that with the shine bug, it's continuing to be tamed as soon as it hatched. Whereas these guys, because they hatched outside of it, it will not be the case. Ooh, there is one benefit to this being part of the floor, technically. It's going to take up more space, which means we could expand the down here further along. So that'll be good, because right now we're at the max, but if we fill in some of these, we'll have extra wiggle space. So we'll be able to maybe include 2 more, 3 more plants. Every little bit helps make them grow faster. It's good. Just realized somebody doesn't have a bed. That'll have to wait. Other priorities at the moment. Let's go ahead and get a sculpture in here. Alright, we got some more of the hydroponics. We're gonna need to get another light going though. Alright, so I don't know if the plant itself needs to be hit by light technically, or if it needs to be just the pot, so I'm going to err on the safe side and assume that the plant itself, so like this square needs light, not just this one. Let's go ahead and do one there and one there. Hopefully that covers all of our plants. Now our poor power system. Just hang on a little longer. Once I get everything else sorted, I'll come back. My god, look at all this water! There's water everywhere. This is, by the way, plans on how I want to route, like, the water and everything. I'm gonna have it come across, and there'll be, like, a door here. And we'll go up and circle around and then come down through the other route. And into the base. It'll come up like that and that. There we go. And then I'm gonna have it insulated so that hopefully everything... For one, I really don't want to melt our ice biome by the nature of all of the heat over here. So if we can help with that, that'll be good. They'll also be quicker if they don't have to climb so much. So having it just straight across the ladder and straight across, that'll be good. And then I'll probably move this system that's pumping in a little bit of oxygen potentially into like a hallway in here or something like that. Oh, Muffin's working on her little her structure. Let's see what she creates. Ta-da! And it must be pretty good quality. She was excited. Just quaint, I guess. That'll do. So how is that look for... there. Oh, everything's looking good in there, so at least when they sleep it looks nice. This room will start looking less terrible too as we go because the bristle blossoms look nice while the mealwood looks terrible. And we got lights going. So we got these guys. Alright, so good. We're on track for getting the dirt usage out of our food. That's an improvement. We will continue to have this one over here. We good? Okay. Just because it's what I've decided to feed our Draco. Look at that. Using Farmer's Touch on this, so hopefully it'll go quicker. Look at our Bristle Blossom go. We're almost 80% done with that guy. That's super exciting. Okay. So it takes like 3 eggs to make an omelet. Who knew? I'm still super annoyed at how much meat you need to be able to use it. I wish you could just cook the steak. Who is suffocating and why? It looks like he's got it figured out though. Okay. But yeah, I think I have quite a bit of meat in here somewhere, potentially. No, it looks like I got barbecue. Okay. We do have a lot of pepper nut though. Pepper mutt. Is it pepper mutt or pepper nut? I think it's pepper nut. Pepper nut. The way the text is they merge the R and the N, so it looks like an M. Alright, let's see if our water system is working how I would like it. Doesn't seem like it. Oh, I guess that is backed up. For some reason I thought it would sit in this pipe. So right now, any water that comes through is probably going to go into here. So this is how much we've collected so far. And it's got 200,000 germs in it. They seem to be going down. They go down until this drips in and then it goes back up. So we'll have to soon figure out a system for heating that water up to quite warm. Natural gas. Should look into how do you use that system to make power. We also have a steam geyser, which will be very nice, or a vent rather. And we can just pump that water straight into cooling over here, which will be good. The nice thing about this area, though, that it's very germy, it's not producing polluted oxygen, so there is that bonus. I do hope when it comes to some of the improvements that they're going to do that they'll be working on the food system, because I think that's one of the biggest complaints I've seen in relation to this all. And the other one is I hope that they find better ways to deal with food poisoning in the water, because it's true most people just don't have a problem with it because they do like a gray water system like I have here, and then they just use clean water that they find in like vents and stuff. But at the same time, if these people are as advanced as it seems they are, or were before whatever happened, they should at least know how to get rid of food poisoning in water, especially when you have things like chlorine and bleach and all that at your disposal. There should be ways to do this besides trying to find a method to heat up your water and then trying to cool it and blah 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 blah, you know. So it'll be cool to see what kind of improvements they have in mind. And then, yay, we have another bathroom. And let's go ahead and put another one of these sculptures in here. You're gonna get used to this guy because it is literally the only sculpture they can make. And it gives a lot of a boost, so we're just gonna have to keep having him everywhere. But while I was playing on my own game, I found an area similar to what we found here, and I searched some lockers and I found some journals, and it seems like they carry between saves, and so I don't know that because I found these in a different save that we'd be able to see them in this game. So I'm going to go ahead and read through the ones that we found. So the first one is personal journal B835. I started working at a new company called the Gravitas Facilities today. I was nervous I didn't get the job at first because I was fresh out of school and I was so pushy in the interview. But the director apparently likes my thesis on the psychological thermal regulation of Arctic lizards. I'll be working with some brilliant geneticists, people who work with genetics, bioengineering organisms for space travel in harsh environments. It's like a dream come true. I get to work on exciting new research in a place where no one knows me. That's exciting. And then we have cleaning up the mess, which is from Mr. Stinky. And then here we have a voice log thing, and it says voice recognition initialized. Subjects identified as A1, A435, and B111. And the log begins. Technician. Thank you for the fingerprints, Doctor. We'll need a quick voice sample, then you can be on your way. Dr. McClintock? Wow, Jackie, your security's no joke. Director, please address me as director in the facilities grounds. Right. Click. Technician. This should take a moment. Speak clearly and the system will derive a vocal signature for you. When you're ready, voice clears. The doctor. Security code B111, Dr. Jody McClintock, Gratis Facility Bioengineering Department. Pause. Technician says, great. The doctor, what was that light just now? Just a basic security scan, no need for concern. Machine prints something. Here's your ID. You should have access to all the doors in the facility now, Doctor. Thank you. Director, come along, Doctor. And that ends. So it's a little shady. When you say, that's no concern, it's a concern. So it seems like potentially this facility, which I think Sneaky Clean did, was gathering people's genetic information without their knowledge, and that's what this is. It's printing from shady business. So I think that's going to be it for this episode. We have plans for how we're going to be cleaning or cooling any water that we do eventually warm up. We have a place for excess water to be going out of this system. And we have full bathrooms that look nice now. And so it should now be a washroom. So it has an extra 2 morale opposed to the 1 from before. So it's super exciting. And that should help with Chance's stress. I don't know why he's stressed, but that's something we can look at another time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.